Welcome back to Onecraknews. As always, we give you something here that's a little different than the Karceno for Life page, and of course, Screen Paint is just for movies. Now, what I'm going to give you here is the behaviors. A lot of people have great ideas, but if your behavior don't support your ideas, then, it is what it is. Just as leaders winning and ideas and strategies to move the companies ahead, they also know that having the right values, that can make a critical situation different. So you got to pay as much attention to developing, like articulating teachable points. Like, I got to have something that I could teach and get over, because your behavior is going to basically affect your ideas. You might have a great idea, but if you don't have a good behavior about yourself or about going about doing it, nobody's going to care about the idea. So you got to have the same respect and values in yourself and to the idea, that other people's be like, man, some people have bad ideas, but it's the way they behavior is. You be like, man, this dude might know what he's talking about. Your behavior is a part of it. It's a selling point, but you need that. Just as much attention as you put into the idea, you have to put just as much into articulating all your teachable points of view. That's value. You can have a good idea, but if you can't explain it to someone in the proper format that is needed to be, where it's easy, where they can understand it, then you're going to lose out on so much value of your idea. See, when people talk sometimes about like values of things, they often have in mind a set of like moral principles that they got, like social meaning about something. I almost said show social media. But some of those big timetables of values and all that integrity, many people argue with everything that comes with honesty and all that, but there's not much, argument, to go about that's even needed for the situation. You see, when you got fundamental values and all the basis for like interactions, other value sets are heightened. Everything else could be, looked at as very subjective, and often, the basis for divisive debates that takes away from the value of what you're trying to do. You see, winning leaders always embrace and embody the first kind of value. You see what I'm saying? Now, unless they leading a cause-related organization, and rarely take public stands, or, on the like second type tier of value, you're going to be looking at a situation where the levels of values are different. I'm going to give you some prime examples about business and a couple of corporations. Okay? AT&T, for example, right? The old AT&T. See, there's a new AT&T and the old AT&T. See, the old AT&T, for example, they were a regulated monopoly. So it's a growth and profitable, and they didn't really depend on all this low cost or speed, and rather it just, keys to success was providing service, making sure that it worked. They were reliable, and then they satisfy all the regulators. See, in this environment, it isn't surprising that predictability and not taking risks were corporate values. One of the big problems for the like the baby companies after the breakup of AT&T was that suddenly, they were in a new environment where they needed to be, nimble. They had to be innovative and competitive now. But they were like filled with slow moving, risk adverse, bureaucratic ways before. They were a monopoly. So even when, you know, the leaders, the top leaders and everybody else came up with like new business models for winning and being successful in the new competitive marketplace, they were hampered by the cultures that worked against them. Behaviors. So, in other words, let's change our behaviors. Yeah, you understand? So hopefully everybody's getting this. And don't forget to donate to the Cash App. You know, the name Karceno on the Cash App. I give you guys value. Unlike a lot of channels out here, they give you a lot of stuff you can't use. See, IBM. Remember IBM? I remember they almost went under. They had what was that, John Akers and all the people, they moved too slow when it was talking about new business ideas, and Apple and everybody else was doing what they were doing, but they were just too slow to respond to stuff, all the changes they had in the market. You know, the failure of the homegrown team of IBM veterans, you know, to let go of the past and try to move forward, is problems with their values. You know, they too scary. And from day one, Tom Watson, you know, he had built IBM around the values of consistency, conformity, and just being reliable. You know, for several decades, these values served the company well. The world wasn't moving as quickly as it is today. And since business machines were just, you know, sitting there in the market world, it was important to establish your reliability. You know, we're reliable. IBM's army of button-down crew cuts and sales reps whose behavior and responses was just totally predictable. You know, they're just the right team to implement the Watson strategy. But as time moves on and then things get faster, you know, and the efforts of the new computer age, you know, bringing up the rapid increase of the pace of business, in this new environment, the values of conformity and all that lockstep predictability is not going to help you. IBM was unable to compete against companies like Dell. Now, I know a lot of you guys got a Dell computer, so you know what I'm talking about. And Dell had so much value as avoiding the hierarchies back then, you know, and getting all the customers and all the speed and agility were now the critical quality essential companies and all that craziness. But the old culture of we're just gonna be predictable and conformative, it slowed IBM down to a crawl. So all the creative types who might have seen and responded to the change of the market, they were gone. Yep. They saw what was happening in the marketplace sooner than them. And then they got a new owner who joined the company as a CEO back in like 92, 93. Then the first thing he did was clean house and bring in other outside people to create a culture of speed and excitement. Speed and excitement. That's what people want. And that's why you cannot become predictable. Can't be comfortable. Comfortable is the worst thing you could ever be. Because once you feel you comfortable, that's it. You might as well retire. There's nothing for you to do, because once you get comfortable at something, you're not going to be prepared when somebody comes and shake things up, or the game changes all of a sudden, which in society and business it does all the time. Have to keep your head on a swivel. And thank you. And hopefully you guys click the link in the description box. well, just hit the bell, the notification bell, and subscribe or support me on the Cash App. I appreciate all the love and support. I'm out. One Crack News is done.